Good day everyone, I am Apple Bernil Seneca and for today we're going to tackle about the Unit 5, the photo editing. And we're going to define the definition of photo editing, the elements of photo editing, and the popular photo editing platforms and application. Then, we're going to tackle about the Unit 6, the database, the definition of database, and the types of databases. Thank you. So let us start with the definition of photo editing. So the word photo comes from the Greek word for light, and when talking about photography, it is used to describe a single image. So photo is a representation of a person or scene in the form of a print or transparent slide, and it is recorded by a camera on light-sensitive materials. While editing is the process of selecting and preparing written, visual, audible, and film media used to convey information. So when we say editing, it is the process that can involve correction, condensation, organization, and other modification performed with an intention of producing a correct, consistent, accurate, and complete work. And also, it often begins with the author's idea for the work itself, continuing as a collaboration between the author and the editor as the work is created. So let's proceed to the main definition of photo editing. What is photo editing? Photo editing, also called post-processing or post-production, is the process in digital photography of making adjustment to photographs in a photo editing program. In other words, photo editing or image editing is the changing of image. So it encompasses the process of altering image, whether they are digital photographs, traditional photochemical eye photographs, or illustrations. The first known example of photo editing happened in the 1860s to a photo of President Abraham Lincoln. So before the invention of computers, people had to edit image by hand. Some editing was done by pasting photo together. People also used tools like ink, paint, and airbrushes, and enlarger made bigger pictures and allowed adjustments such as brightening or darkening different parts. So, when it comes to the 1980s, photo editing computer programs for personal computers were made. So, the first version of Adobe Photoshop was released in 1987. And when it comes in 2011, the first photo editing mobile apps were released on App Store. Other apps have been made for other mobile operating system. These apps allow editing and photo sharing by smartphones and tablet computers.
Let's move on to the elements of photo editing. Number 1, crop and clean up your images. Then, straighten images. It's always better to pay attention to be sure your horizon is horizontal when you shoot. But straightening is also an easy first editing step. Then, crop images. It's best to crop to improve minor compositional details like distracting elements at the edge of the frame or repositioning your subject slightly. Spot clean images. The outdoors is a dusty place and nature's gritty elements have a way of finding their way onto your camera lens and then onto your photo. So, using a lens brush regularly in the field cuts down on this. Most editing programs have a spot removing tool. The name varies: clone, stamping, and spot healing are two variations. Program also let you change your view of a photo to highlight the location of spots. Number 2, adjust the white balance. White balance relates to color levels, not exposure levels. If your image has an overall color tone that you find displeasing or unnatural, you can adjust white balance to fix it. Most editing programs let you pick from preset modes like flash, daylight, or cloudy to better calibrate the image for the lighting conditions when it was shot. In addition, many have both a temperature and a tint slider that you can fiddle with to fine-tune the overall lighting cast on an image. Number 3, adjust exposure and contrast. So, adjusting exposure, this is the process of making the photo exactly as bright or dark as you want. Note that noise can sometimes be introduced when you crank up the brightness. That's why it's always better to get the correct exposure. One that's sufficiently bright when you first take the photo. Then, adjusting contrast. Contrast is the range of dark to light tones. When it's extra high, you see a stark image where all tones, regardless of color, are either very dark or very light. When it's extra low, you see a flat image where no elements in the frame stand out. Finally, you want a middle contrast that avoids either of those extremes. But if you prefer either of those effects, you can adjust the contrast to achieve that. Number 4, adjust color vibrancy and saturation. Once white balance is adjusted, you can further refine colors in your photo with the saturation and vibrancy controls. The distinction between the two is subtle. Increasing vibrancy increases color intensity in neutral color tones and maintains color intensity in the brighter colors. Increasing saturation makes all colors throughout the frame more intense. When bright colors pop, it can give the photo a more dramatic look. Number 5, adjust sharpness. Sharpening an image gives it a crisper, cleaner look. Many programs offer multiple sharpening tools. Begin by adjusting the overall amount of sharpness on a scale from 0 to 100. Start at 50%, then adjust the level up or down to get the sharpness you prefer. Experiment with your editing program's additional sharpening features to see the effect each procedures. One you might try is a clarity or structure tool. It makes the edges of objects in the photo stand out more, giving the overall image a punchier look. Need to look closely at individual areas of the frame in order to evaluate the effects of each sharpness adjustment. Having a super fine details won't matter much for social media photo, but it will make a big difference for any image you plan to enlarge and print. Note that sharpening an image can turn an out of focus shot into an in focus shot. No editing tool can do that. In addition, if you sharpen an image too much, you can create an unnatural halo effect around objects in the frame. Then last, number 6, finalize and share your photos. After you've done all of your editing, set your photo aside. Then come back later and examine them to see if you're happy with each one. If not, make additional editing adjustments where needed. Then, because RAW files are so large, you need to convert them to JPGs before you email, post, share, or print your edited photos. You should also save all of the final edited versions of images alongside the original images they came from.
Now, we will tackle 6 specific popular photo editing platforms that we can use in enhancing our photos. The first one in our list is Adobe Lightroom. So what is Adobe Lightroom? Adobe Lightroom is a creative image organization and image manipulation software developed by Adobe Incorporation on September 19, 2017. Adobe Lightroom offers all the tools you'll need to create stunning portrait, landscape, real estate, and other photography. It is the best tool to manage and process the 1,000 photos on your devices. Lightroom is a photo management and photo editing software or application combined into a single tool. It is specifically built to efficiently handle a large number of photos. By using the Lightroom, we can efficiently organize, manage, and find photos in a library-like catalog inside the application. We can also rank the photos in order to identify the best photos or the best shots that we have. Lightroom is more than a powerful editing program because it is also a photo management system. So, Adobe Lightroom is often used by wedding and event photographers because of its capability to handle large numbers of image. The second one is Skylum Luminar AI. Skylum Luminar is a universal photo editing software application developed by Skylum, or formerly known as MacPhone, in November 2016. Skylum Luminar is both a photo editor and a photo organizer. Luminar has gained popularity for its AI slider, which applies automatic quick fixes to your photos, including brightening, clarifying, toning, and other basic adjustments. Just like Lightroom, you can use Luminar as both a photo editor and photo organizer. Once again, this means that the user can upload their image in a library-like catalog, or in Skylum Luminar application, this is what we call the Luminar library, so that all of the photos or all of the photo editing workflow is centralized into one place. Skylum Luminar's trademark is its AI, or artificial intelligence slider, wherein the users can apply an automatic quick fixes in their photo editing. With using the Skylum Luminar, we can make our photo editing easier and faster. In contrast, Skylum Luminar also offers more editing tools than Lightroom, but fewer than Photoshop. Now, the third photo application is Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop was developed in 1987 by two brothers, namely Thoman and John Knoll, who sold the distribution license to Adobe System Incorporated in 1988. Photoshop's masking, retouching, and layering tools are still some of the most compelling on the market. It is designed for professionals who need all the tools needed in photo editing. Adobe Photoshop provides powerful but complicated photo editing tools that you won't simply find in other photo editing software. If you are an aspiring professional photo editor who wants to work on a graphic design project, Adobe Photoshop is suitable for you. However, the tools inside this application are quite complicated and not beginner friendly. Photoshop specializes in giving more control in giving the users more control over photo editing, which allows them to make more extensive edits their that will help them to make a few photos look absolutely perfect. Graphic designers, fine artists, com- or compositing artists will ultimately rely on Photoshop to do a transformation in an image. So the next photo application is Portrait Pro. So Portrait Pro is a professional image editor developed by Anthropix Technology, and its first release is in July 2006. The application includes everything you might need to edit skin tone, remove blemishes or wrinkles from your subject's face, add makeup, and more. Also, it allows you to add effects to fix things like poor lighting or get rid of sagging cheeks. Sagging cheeks. It has built-in interactive tutorials that makes this program super easy to use. So, Portrait Pro delivers professional results for editing faces. As what it said in the name of application, Portrait Pro is specialized in enhancing the facial features in a portrait. By using Portrait Pro, the user can edit their portrait skin tone, remove blemishes or wrinkles, and add makeup. And also with a few quick adjustments, the user can also add effects to fix things like poor lighting. And lastly, it has built-in interactive tutorials which enables the users to use the app or to use the program easily. Portrait Pro is designed for photographers who specialize in portrait editing or portrait photography, or for those people who want to edit a portrait. The next one in our list is Canva. So Canva was founded in Perth, Australia by Melanie Perkins, Cliff Obrecht, and Cameron Adams on January 1, 2013. Canva is a simple photo editor and video editor in one graphic design software. It allows you to adjust various elements of your image with a simple drag and drop editor. Canva's simple interface categorize searchable elements to help you find what you are looking for. By using Canva, the users can apply various layouts, text, and backgrounds for our photos. Canva is a great tool for turning our photos into branded social media posts or graphic design projects because it offers a categorized searchable elements that we can use to enhance the theme of our photo. However, as a standalone photo editor, it lacks many professional level photo editing tools. Canva is best suitable for students, teachers, and people who aspires to be a graphic designers. So last in our list is PixArt. PixArt was founded in November 2011 by Armenian entrepreneur of Hovannes Avoyan and Armenian programmers Atavaz Merabian and Mikhail Vardanyan. PixArt Photo Editor is a photo editing app with tools to add filters and various effects with social network integration. PixArt Photo Editing section is where you can find all of PixArt top editing tools like coloring effects, overlaying image, changing backgrounds, and many more. PixArt is a photo editing app for adding filters, effects, emojis, text borders in an image. Because of its accessibility and beginner-friendly interface or beginner-friendly photo editing tools, PixArt, an application for photo editing, becomes quite popular for young people today. However, it is not suitable for complex photo editing or professional photo editing. In addition, PixArt also has a social network integration, which means that the user can now connect their social media account in the application or in the photo editing app. So let's summarize the popular photo editing tool that we can use in enhancing our photo. Number 1, Adobe Lightroom. Number 2, Skylum Luminar AI. Number 3, Adobe Photoshop. Number 4, Portrait Pro. Number 5, Canva. Number 6, PixArt.
Definition of database. A database is an organized collection of structured information or data typically stored electronically in a computer system. What is database? Databases are used for storing, maintaining, and accessing any sort of data. They collect information on people, places, or things. That information is gathered in one place so that it can be observed and analyzed. Databases can be thought of as an organized collection of information. Charles Bachman designed the first computerized database in the early 1960s. The first database was known as the Integrated Data Store or IDS. This was shortly followed by the Information Management. He created database to allow you to store information related to a specific topic in an organized way. In addition to storing data, you can sort, extract, and summarize information related to the data.
Here we are on the final part of our group reporting, which is Unit 6. So in Unit 6, it contains two topics. Letter A, definition of database, and letter B, types of databases. In letter A, definition of databases, we're gonna talk about what is the database is all about, what is the meaning of database, and what is the function of database. While in letter B, types of databases, we're gonna find out what are the different types of databases and what are the specific places to be used, or what is the help of databases. For the first part of type of database, number 1, traditional database. It says that traditional data is normally structured data that organized in record, files, and tables. Fields in traditional data sets are relational, so it's possible to work out the relationship and manipulate the data accordingly. So in short term, traditional databases are centralized data used to store and maintain the data in fixed format or fields in a file. So what are the specific place and use of traditional database? Banking system, airline, hotel, and railways. As you can see, there are different workplaces that we can use the traditional database. So why? Because in this area, we must organize records, files, and etc. So traditional database can help. Next one is multimedia database. A multimedia database is a database that includes one or more primary media file types, such as text, .txt for documents, .jpg for images, .sfw for videos, .mp3 for audios, and etc. So the etc. includes the AVI, MP4, and so many more. We will gonna see this type of files when we are exploring on the details of every file that we must view. So, in multimedia base, it includes photos, video clips, and audio. If we're gonna view the details of these files, we can see their file types such as the mentioned text, TXT, JPG, SFW, and MP3. For examples, I'm recording this video right now to provide you a lesson about this topic, and after I saved it, the file format shows that it is AVI. AVI is for video also. It is commonly seen while we are recording on our laptop or computer. So, AVI is a part of multimedia database. So, multimedia database which stores pictures, video clips, and sound messages.
Let's go now to Geographic Information Systems. Geographic Information Systems are powerful decision-making tools for any business or industry since it allows the analysis of environmental, demographic, and topographic data. Data intelligence compiled from GIS applications help companies and various industries and consumers. It make informed decisions. So, a geographic information system is a system that creates, manages, analyzes, and maps all types of data. GIS connects the data to a map, integrating location data with all types of descriptive information. This provides a foundation for mapping and analysis that is used in science and almost in every industry. So GIS help users understand patterns, relationship, and geographic context. So the benefits of GIS, it include improved the communication and efficiency as well as better management and decision making. So hundreds of thousands of organizations in virtually every field are using GIS to make the maps that communicate, perform analysis, share information, and solve complex problems around the world. This is changing the way our world works. In the field of education, health, insurance, real estate, transportation, and also government, they are also using this kind of database, which is geographical information system. Let's go now to the real-time database. It is a database system which uses real-time processing to handle workloads whose state is constantly changing. This differs from traditional databases containing persistent data, mostly unaffected by time. For example, a stock market changes very rapidly is dynamic. So real-time processing means that the transactions are processed very quickly, enabling the organization or other integrated systems to act on the data immediately. Real-time databases are typically used for accounting, banking, legal, medical records, multimedia, and process control, reservation systems, and scientific data analysis. So in a real-time database systems, there is a significant concerns as to how to record the exact time at which data was recorded and queries were received. One of the best examples for a real-time database is, for example, you have a bank account or yun. So when we withdraw the X amount from your account, then the changes will be reflected to your account in a time, which is a real-time mechanism.